been always honored to work on such amazing new development and new coming that is happening here, and it's always, it makes you feel good that you are part of the growth that is happening here, especially that I focus in my work into the architectural pre-visualizations and how the future of Bahrain is going to look, and the cities, how they would how it would be, and where Bahrain is going. It's good to know and to be part of that. My name is Khalid Almuharrqi. I'm son of the artist Almuharrqi. I have chosen this field because I come from a family of art. Basically, my education was starting from traditional painting to interior designing. And within time, I have moved into branding and marketing. Again, throughout the years, my line of field has changed within the art field, depending on what was needed in the market and what I was kind of interested in. So basically, a few years ago, we started with the marketing, branding, and creating things related to the commercial world. In the last few years, I've been solely focused more on the architectural pre-visualizations and building cities and master plans. We've also gotten into many different other fields that is related to technologies and interactivity. And again, I cannot consider myself an artist in one type of field. Yes, I do come from the background of, let's say, fine arts, which is the part that I kind of learned from my house with my parents, with my father. I still do fine art. However, it is, in time, my story kind of changed. My interest also in the type of work that I do has been evolving. My journey in art started long back when I was a kid, so I can say since I was probably 9 or at that age. It started at my father's studio when just like a typical kid with his parents, you're always inspired by what your family or parents are doing at home. So my father had a section where he paints and draws every day. He both works on the cartoons and also the painting and the design work that he does. So as a kid, I used to grab my little book and I'd try to copy what he's doing. And of course, getting guidelines and corrections from my dad. He's kind of my mentor also, and trying to follow his footsteps. So that's mainly how I kind of got inspired by art, is by being in an environment. If it's in your home, I guess you're going to be inspired with what's happening in that environment. Some people, they think it's easy to be born in a family where your parent is already a master in his field and fully recognized at what he's accomplished. In my case, it's been a complicated path. And you would say, how would that happen? I would tell you it's because trying to pass what he has achieved and where he has reached is even a much more harder task to reach to what you have done. However, the first time I tried to get a job in Bahrain, once I showed them my portfolio and what I do, that's the moment that they paused, they called their directors, and they start to say, well, this is Khalid's work. So a journey is always complicated, and if you come from a family where there's a certain success that happens from your either your parents or family members, trying to achieve that or bypass it is going to be much more of a task. So it just makes you stronger and much more stubborn to try to to reach to a different goal. I'm one of the artists that is very, I think, diversified. I don't have loyalty to one kind of art. Art can be colors, it could be shadows, it could be design, it could be anything. Because my field is so diverse, I have never been faithful to one type of art, so I cannot say there's one style that I really love. It's easier for me to say what I hate in art, but what I am taking as a favorite, I don't have a favorite. I have come from a background where I do traditional, then I have done 3D art, then I have done digital art. I have been doing design work from flat to extreme detail. But you have to understand that I come from a background where every field that I practiced, it was many years on field one, then I learned something new, and there's many more years on the next one, but I still continue doing the first one, and so on. So by the third field that I get into, I'm still doing field one. So it doesn't mean I do all together. In my age, I have kind of studied everything as I go along. I enjoy the process to reach to the goal. So the art to me is the process that it takes you to the end result. There is no one medium that I am kind of loyal to. So art is all around us, in my opinion. My sources of inspiration in art, I can say that since I first started till now, the inspiration has been growing. It's almost getting out of control right now. So we are at a time and an age where inspiration is getting much more there. In the times where I started, inspiration was very targeted and small, especially because how the world has been evolving and how the knowledge has been accessible to the users or to the artists or to the public. It started, of course, as I said earlier, with my father at home. It starts there. Also, at the time, we didn't have much access to the information on the internet and all of this. So I would say the books, my father had tons of books. He used to travel, and at that time he would, once he goes to Europe, to the US or whatever, he'd grab so many books of different artists historical art or artists from the 80s or the 70s, and then I would just go through them. There isn't specific names, although there is, but they're kind of a lot. Again, I don't have a certain loyalty to a certain style. In time, the knowledge base has been growing, and in my case, it has been moving also from not only being knowledge related to painting or digital art, it's also goes to the next door field, which is the architecture and architects and designers within those fields and how they think and how they work. I might have just traveled somewhere and get inspired by something that I see there. It's all around me. So my inspiration in Bahrain is, again, it's all around me. It starts with the traditional places or the old places, historical landmarks. It's always interesting to go and see some of the old forts and how they have been constructed, how they used to think, and how they have put all these large structures, how their design works, and how their the thoughts in how they would use these places, and the small details that goes around how they put the woods together and how the patterns go. Of course, the Museum of Bahrain, also when you go throughout time and you look at all these detailed historical pieces that they have found or retrieved even before Islam, it's just inspiring to see that Bahrain had such a deep root in history. Of course, we cannot not say that the inspiration of the pearl diving and the dhows and how the sea, because Bahrain is so deeply rooted into the pearl diving and the fishing and all these other sea businesses that they were doing at the time. We are completely inspired always by what happened there and the details of the stories, the amazing journeys that these people had to go through on these long travels that they had to endure. Inspiration in Bahrain gets to start in one place and keeps on moving. I think also Bahrain has been evolving, so there's always a mishmash that's happening in whatever is coming up next by the other creative people and the other artists that also build Bahrain and makes it a unique hub for creativity in general. So how I represent I think Bahrain in my artwork, there isn't one way of doing that. Sometimes it could be color inspired, Bahraini colors like the red and white. Could be clothing. There's a certain style of clothing that Bahrainis are also famous for. It could be even our palm trees and desert has a certain feeling that's different than next door neighbors. Yeah, we all share the similar look in the end of the day, but Bahraini sunsets look a little bit different. It's all over. I mean, again, it's a difficult subject to kind of pinpoint one thing, and I think once I say I can identify one particular pattern in there, that's going to be my stuck way of making one art piece that just everything looks the same. And as an artist, I try to always have updates, changes, reinventing ourselves, making it look a little bit more like the next phase in their kind of a thing. A turning point in my life of art goes way back. There was a point of time when I first went to the US to study at my school. I was just a traditional artist that holds a pencil and paints and uses brushes. And this is the first time that I have seen Photoshop, which was, I guess it was version 2 or 1 point something, you know, there's no layers, there's no masks, no nothing. And I saw this tool that almost does not look reasonably acceptable for me as an artist. It took me, I think, approximately 6 months on it every day to start to accept that this could be the future. I had to do homework. I had to try to study whatever I've been given and get my projects in, but I don't believe in it. So after those 6 months, I was kind of converted into a digital artist. I still do my traditional, but I was also inspired by a tool that has a future. Now, by that time, also, it took probably another 15, 20 years for the industry to develop and for people to change their mentality that digital art could be called digital art, because at that time it's called photo enhancement or retouching, which is basically just job to be done for photographers. It grew to the extent that a few years ago they started this NFT, and you know, now digital art is considered something different and something to go for and to buy. And all of the sense, almost most of my work that I sell today and I do is digital work. So the traditional is still there and it gives me a strong foundation, but I think that's a nice, interesting turning point, because it is converting a manual into a, I don't want to say automatic, but into a digital format. So, and that's my story there. So the closest artwork to me, as always, I would say I'm never loyal, not even to my artwork. So it's always evolving and changing. However, if I have to think hard about that, my father had a symbolic image that he has created at that time. And years ago, I would say when I was heavily involved in 3D and character development and story telling in my images, I've created an image called Al-Buraq waits. Al-Buraq is the steed or the creature that was created by God at that time to help Prophet to travel. So I created an image that depicts that the creature is waiting for the descent or the comeback of the Prophet. So I called it Al-Buraq waits. So basically I tried to put together a beautiful image that depicts the horse and its magical wings. Again, there's no details that is fact. It's purely imagination by whatever was being read or spoken about in history or in books. Now, once I did that image, at that time we didn't have a lot of the social media that's happening right now. So a lot of the online websites, I mean, I remember there was one of the websites was called, I guess, CG art or something like that, which gets hundreds of thousands of people, artists mainly, and directors and companies going in every day looking at art, getting inspired there. It's kind of a place where all the artists put their work, and I posted it, and I guess it got a few awards in there, digital awards, and then it got fully recognized by the teams there. It went front page. And then we got also hundreds of thousands of people that read it with the story that it had. So it had also a story written there that kind of supports the image. So the awareness was my target, and I think I kind of succeeded by giving that story to it, out in the world. And I think that's where I would say it's not my favorite piece, but it's kind of an important piece at some point of time that I have created. The exhibitions that I have participated in are not a lot, actually. The reason for, again, as said before, is I'm not a traditional painter artist that just did that in my field. Because I shift from painting to designing to branding to architecture to many other topics, I'm only one human that does not get enough time to be involved in everything. What's my first exhibition that I really exhibited in, and I kind of enjoyed that as an experience, was the father and son exhibition that was held a few years ago, me and my father. So basically we had my father's old artwork going back to the 60s and 70s, alongside half of the exhibition, and the other half had all my digital artwork and the equivalents of that. We also had a joint piece in the center of the exhibition. I had a piece that me and my father joined each other to kind of create one piece in the center of it. So it kind of had a symbolic thought process in there. I'm not too focused on that because of my time. If time would allow me, I'd be more focused on that. Who's my biggest supporter throughout my journey in the art field? It's a very short question, but I want to say it started with my father, but of course also my mother, because my mother has been also giving me the inspirational push that you're doing good, continue doing it, wow, this is nice and all this. So it's both my parents in there. It starts with them. I'm not highly dependent on people to inspire me. That's one of the things that I am at, but these two persons are the most inspiring two since I grew up in childhood. Of course, when I grew older, I have my wife would also inspire me in continuing being creative and doing the fun stuff that I do. So basically, my support that I have been given from my country has been diverse in many places, actually. I would say the strongest support that I've gotten seriously years ago started by Sheikh Amay is inspiring, where she has look at art, look at artists, look at creativity, and she harnesses it and supports pushing it into another level. So I have received several also awards through her, the entities that she represents. I've received the GCC awards, where being part of Arab artists in different fields, whether it's in the musical field or designing field or artistic field, whatever field that they are, they usually would gather up people from the GCC, and you get like medals. So I was quite honored for that. Meanwhile, I have done several projects related to our government of Bahrain. I have been always honored to work on such amazing new development and new coming that is happening here, and it makes you feel good that you are part of the growth that is happening here, especially that I focus in my work into the architectural pre-visualizations and how the future of Bahrain is going to look, and the cities how it would be, and where Bahrain is going. It's good to know and to be part of that. Well, again, the architectural work that I do, I'm not an architect. I didn't study architecture. The maximum that I've done is I studied interior design. But as a field, I do architectural pre-visualization, and I've been doing that for approximately almost 20 years now. It's always been our focus since the day that we started is not to do one or two buildings. It's mainly we build landmarks and cities that are massive. I would also add that one of the first projects that I have done in this field was related to a very iconic project in Bahrain. It's Dirrat al-Bahrain, which everybody knows about, and they see it and recognize it right away. Where also at certain time I had my friends in the US used to tell me that you're the guy that worked on the largest necklace that can be seen from out of space. That was kind of my first leg into the architectural visualization. Then, of course, in time, the visualization start with imagery and videos and marketing stuff that shows projects before they get built or before they get developed. In time, my tools have changed because, as we said, the market keeps on reinventing itself, starting somewhere, but it readjusts to whatever is available and whatever is needed. So at recent times, I would say about 7 years ago, we started developing interactive systems where sales and explaining about project does not only happen by static images or just videos, by having interactivity where you utilize a system and look at the entire project as if it's a miniature that you can rotate around and zoom right into it, get more information exposed, understand also in the sales what is available, what is sold, and all. So it makes it really intuitive for both the salesperson and for the person that is purchasing. So because the fact that it is unique and it does help get things moving quicker, sold quicker, and whenever you go to mega sizes, it makes it much more easier and handheld and simplistic. Upcoming plans or new things or new projects that I work, and I kind of have a sheet there that I kind of drop ideas onto. So I almost always have something in the cooking. As my work, I consider it to be a journey that things unfold as we go along. But it's good always to have kind of some targets to want to achieve, so that you can achieve those levels. In the next a few projects that I'm interested to get more involved in is the more interactivities that happens with the digital art or the digital architectural, or something that is more interactive, that you feel it with all your senses. I can't identify exactly what it is, but it's a bit of this with a bit of that, and you cook it up and something new comes out. So it is kind of that shore that I still didn't reach to. So if I would know, I'd give it to you right now. So we're gonna reach there someday. A few years ago, I think probably about 4 or 5 years ago, is we worked on the design of the family tree for the royal family, which will include all the names of the family members and how they're rooted and connected with each other. I think it reached approximately up to 4,000 plus names by this year, and we keep on developing and growing it as it kind of goes along. My advice for the young generation or the upcoming artists or designers or creative people that's out there, first and most basic cliche that everybody would say is follow your dreams. Stay away from people that tell you can't do it or it's impossible. Make sure that you follow your heart and work very hard. You have to work hard. Being professional is 50% of being successful at being creative. Being professional is many things. It could be being on time, having projects out with deadlines, following briefs, being understanding of whatever is happening in the industry and in the market and in the world. This is all part of being professional. So following your dreams is great, but if you're not professional about these basic etiquettes, will also put you behind in the world and you will never succeed. So being humble also along the way and allowing the people to say how good you are, not talking too much about how good we are, is not something that puts us up in the industry by also either getting a job or getting a recognition or anything like that. So I guess you're asking about the piece right behind me, which is it's called Modern Day Vampire. This was done in 2020, right when COVID was at its maximum. So it's kind of a depressing piece for me also. It started with a sketch and I was almost gonna make an entire series of it. It's basically showcasing that at that time the whole planet was injured by this disease that nobody knows where it's going. So I kind of symbolized it in this the bat, because everybody says that there was a bat and this bat is the cause of all this disease that's happening. The bat also represents vampires, so it's kind of it's the disease that drains us out as humanity. So you can see that the planet is bleeding. It's been covered by it. The bat is kind of eating up the world. So basically the bleeding that is happening is from the people that are dying. And at the same time, there is some hope of light. If my life was a TV show or a series, what would it be called? I guess it's chaos with a direction. So it's always been up and down all over. Things have been hectic, but always in the end of the day, I have a target and I have to reach it. So there's always cliffs that we almost did not achieve, but in the end of that episode, it worked out somehow. So I guess I'm fortunate enough that I have been also surrounded by good people, supported by good team, good friends, good industry, and I guess my show always has kind of a nice happy end at the story itself.